What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to do a quick overview and go through the functionality on Nikon's N6000. Hey guys, today I'm going to do a run through of the N6000, which I think it's just a great bargain for what you pay on like eBay, or you can pick these up at a yard sale for, you know, pennies on the dollar. And the functionality that you get out of this is it's excellent. So we'll go through and I'll do a basic overview, and then we'll jump in and actually go through what each widget and doohickey actually does and how to control it.
Interesting.
On the front side, all you have is your lens release. Basically, you're going to push that in, twist your lens to remove it, and just like any other Nikon, you line the dots up, twist till it clicks. On the rear of the camera, you have your exposure lock. And just one gripe that I have, when I was shooting this thing, it's pretty, and maybe it's just the spring on mine. It was kind of awkward, you know, from gripping it and then having to push that over. It just, the leverage that you need to do it, you know, I wasn't that much of a fan. That's my only main gripe, really, that I found with this camera, but I wasn't all that enamored with that. This side, you can pop your back door. Voila. And on the bottom side, you've got your battery door. Just going to take a CRP2. And then this here is your two buttons to rewind. It's actually a button and then a switch. So you'll have to hold this in and then push that over. And in your LCD panel up top, it'll tell you when you've exhausted all your frames. It'll show like a little icon that says you got to rewind, and then there you go. Tripod socket. And on the top side, you have your shutter button, which is threaded, so you can put cable releases in that, like the old style cable release. Your on-off switch, it's right there. Command dial. This little square is a square button. It's called a shift button, and we'll get into that later when we go over the controls, but it's basically like a multi-purpose button. Your exposure compensation, exposure metering, timer, and then your other functions here on the plus or the cross, whatever you want to call it here. I really like this setup, that with the mode, the drive, and basically you have your main controls up here in this plus configuration. Some of the newer DSLRs, the higher end ones, have that. My F100 has it like that. It makes it really simple. Everything's right at your fingertip. So I really like to see that there. That's kind of cool. So I'm going to bring the camera down and we'll jump into the functions and how to operate everything. All right, guys. So we'll go ahead and we'll switch this baby on. All right, so right here's your command dial. That's kind of pretty self-explanatory. We're going to go through and we'll cycle through your shooting modes. Okay, so to do that, you're going to push that down. Right now it's in shutter priority. Rotate. You see it's going to go through the different modes. Okay, so from shutter to aperture to manual to program, and then to program multi. Okay, your ISO is going to go from 6 to 6400, and I believe the DX is, I want to say 25 to 5000. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's what I read in the booklet. Now the ISO, okay, right now it's on manual ISO. If you want to go and set it to DX, what you want to do is, I talked earlier about this little shift button, this square. If you want to go over to DX, you're going to push down your shift button and then hit ISO. And you see how that little DX popped up right there? So we're going to turn it back off. We're going to push down Shift, and then ISO. Boom, it's gone. So I'm going to move that into aperture. There we go. Okay. Your bracket is right there. Then to turn bracket on and off, you're going to hit Shift and then hit your bracket. Your metering, hold down your metering button, and then you can rotate your command dial. That's going to go from, right now, it's matrix into center weighted. And then your self-timer button over here. 1F is going to be 1 frame, and the lower the number, the less amount of time that you have before it's going to take the picture. So 1 frame, and then 2, which would be, it will almost immediately take it, all the way up to 30, which is going to be, I don't know if it's in seconds or not, but probably is. It will take the picture after it counts to 30. And then 2 frames. Now, on the front here, right there is a little LED light, so I'll go ahead and I'll show you what this is. We're going to turn it on 1 frame, then 2. So you're going to engage this, your self-timer, you hold the button down, and then push your shutter button. Then you see how that blinks. This is a little bit longer. Okay. Hold down your timer button, hit your shutter, and there's your indicator. Ba-boom. Your exposure compensation over here, you can hold that down, and by rotating your command dial, you're going to get plus or minus. This shift will act as your compensation. So if you hold that down and go left and right, that's going to be your flash compensation. And also, by holding the shift button down, you can turn on slow or rear curtain sync. And then you cycle it again to turn everything off. You got your standard drives. You have your single, continuous low, continuous high. And I believe reading it was like two frames a second. Let's just go through and see. Okay, so single. Here's low. Here's high. That is blistering fast. And another cool feature up here I almost forgot about is your fill flash. You see there's like a little dude with a sun in the corner there right below the mode. You're going to go ahead and you hit your square shift button like so, and then touch your mode button, and then you see that same icon is going to pop up in your LCD panel. That means that basically you're going to get whatever amount of fill flash that the camera thinks that you should have on a sunny day. That's pretty much it, guys. It's pretty straightforward. It's, you know, there's nothing ridiculously complicated about the camera.
What?
Not semi-confusing, but the only thing to remember is that square shift button, you know, that has the dual functions there. But, you know, once you use this a couple times, it'll probably come second nature. It's nothing like the bastardized control system that is on the N70, which this kind of has a lot of the ergonomics that the N70 did. This is a more robust camera though than the N70 was. I kind of like that actually about the N70 was that it was just super light and really easy to kind of carry around. But you know, robustness robustness is not a bad thing. You know, it's like any other Nikon product. I mean, it's built well, you know, and you could feel it. You know, I don't want to get smacked in the face with this thing, man. That it'll leave a bruise. One thing I almost forgot to mention, a pretty big thing actually, this is a manual focus only camera. Now, the 6006, I think it is, does have autofocus, and for that reason, you could pick these up dirt cheap. I mean, it's a hell of a bargain, as long as you don't mind manual focusing. And the focusing screen in here is the older type that like the EM had. It's like the split rangefinder kind of screen. and I don't mind it at all. So you know, like I said, for a couple dollars, you can pick this up, and it really has matrix metering, and it's solid. You know, it's not a bad buy. So that's pretty much it, guys. If this video was helpful, if you could please do me a favor and give it a thumbs up. And right now, or maybe very soon, I'll have a little button thingy right up in here. If you want to subscribe, hit that, and then you'll get notified anytime we release something new. You'll get all the latest and the greatest. So that's it for today. I guess we'll see you later. On the ear. I totally just said that, on the ear. Where the hell is the ear of the camera? Man.